Alright guys, what's going on? We're gonna do a little tournament practice. Maybe we'll actually get some tournament holes. I guess I should have looked before I got on here. I want to say the tournaments were found in 9 and 10 this time, which is pretty convenient because I think I just started playing around on this account in toward 9. But 10 should be unlocked. Yeah, we'll stick with this. Oops, back in there. Alright, I do have the feed up on the computer, so I can see if you guys have any questions or want to chime in with anything. Let's start off on 9 and see what we get. At the very least, maybe we can show you guys some stuff from general tour play and just general overall game mechanics. I know one or two of you guys had some questions about, I know one of you said you just started using the wind rings relatively recently, so we'll some of that. A lot of times I can just kind of eyeball where the rings need to be, but the original way that I learned was the take shot button. If you guys have never seen the video on the take shot button, this is where you use the take shot button at the bottom of the screen and then move the rings behind it, and as the rings disappear, you know exactly you moved exactly that many rings. It does take a little bit of getting used to though, because you have to make sure you're spinning the screen fast enough without running out of time. Which probably like the first 5 times I used that method, it was a problem, but after that you get used to it and pace picks up. You don't have to use that. You can just kind of, look on the screen and count the rings in your head, then move that many. I know a bunch of people just kind of focus on the center and then count out how many rings and then move that amount of rings to see where the center just was. This is a pretty fun hole. We'll see. Katana should be fine. Okay, take shot button. Thor's hammer is 8.5 to the outside. So we'll go 1. Probably one too many topspin. We were a little too risky there, but it worked out. Alright, opponent's going with the old 1 hop and bounce up. I, for myself, on this one, prefer the rough bump right in front of the green. Now, this is a good one that we were talking about earlier. You see that from where his landing spot is to where his second bounce is going to be, there's an elevation change. Not only is there an elevation change, when you have a headwind, that also takes a little of the bounce out of the ball, just like a tailwind adds a little bit of bounce. Between the elevation change and the wind, I've got to imagine he's going to come up a little short of his intended aiming point here. And not a bad shot, but when you're trying to get those extra eagles and those extra albies and you're trying to make those adjustments, that's one of the things. You got to take all that stuff into consideration. So, like say for this 5.5 mile per hour wind, if I gotta put topspin. If I wanted the ball to hit right there in the rough, you'd actually have to aim it like outside of the rough to get that to happen, because the wind and elevation is going to take some bounce out of it. But that's not how we want to play it. I'm gonna land right here.
Perfect shot.
Oh. Yeah, we missed, but we gave it a chance.
Nice on.
I don't know how the music's too loud. A little bit. I can never tell how loud the music is coming through on y'all's end, so if the music's too loud, say something. But, I mean, that was a very obvious elevation change, one that you can see. There are others that aren't as obvious. Also, like I talked about earlier, when you're making adjustments into elevation changes.
Great shot.
Like, I don't know if you guys have been in the fairway next to a bunker and then you adjust your rings over but your adjustment carries you into the bunker, and all of a sudden you're way off. Because as you slide down into the bunker, the rings will slide down too because of the elevation change, and you will have inadvertently moved way more rings than you intended.
Eagle.
You know, bunkers aren't the only place that can happen. Any elevation change can make that happen, but that's just one of the easier, more obvious examples. Alright, we're gonna get to see a shootout here. Us first, huh? Alright. Again, we're going back to the old take shot button. I'm gonna move just a hair more than 8 rings.
Perfect shot.
That should be alright.
Nice on.
Now there's another way you can play this shootout, slightly more dangerous if you have enough ball and and enough club, as you can just play like a little bunker / rough bump right there in front of the green. It's a pretty safe shot with a side wind. With a strong headwind, it's probably still okay. With a tailwind, it's risky. And there's also a lot of elevation change going from the tee box down to the green on this one, and if you airball it with a tailwind, it's going to hit the green in the air and take off, and you're not going to win that shootout. And your opponent only has to really just play very safe. They don't have to risk anything. Seems like our opponent's going to take a very similar line to ours. And a pretty well executed shot. I think we're still inside of them. But you guys who don't know, this account is named after my son, hence the different name in the child's photograph. I don't have any kidnapped children in the basement. I'm making them play Golf Clash or anything. We'll play a little more 9 and maybe we'll move on to 10 and see if we can't get some matches in there. This account just unlocked 10. We actually haven't played a game in there yet.
Perfect shot.
We nicked a tiny piece of rough right there because we had to risk getting a little closer to the edge. I don't think either of us will make it in 2 unless there's a crazy tailwind, but no, definitely not. Quite honestly, I don't even know if I'm gonna make it to the other. No, sure aren't.
Perfect shot.
that's okay. Honestly, this second shot's maybe better played, you know, especially if we can use a sniper. We got Goliath and Thorn equipped, and this isn't one where you can go straight in the green. It's one we gotta play like a little one hop off that island patch of fairway before the in the bunker. One of those examples of further not always being better. Oh, tailwind, so there would be no sniper. It's definitely Goliath time. Well, unless you wanted to play the rough bump there, but I'm not going to. Like I said on the other hole, rough bumps with tailwinds typically not the best idea. It's also important to not go long on this one. Let's see, this is about where we want it to hit. Actually, we want it to hit about here. The reason I moved it down a little bit extra, because with this tailwind, it's going to take a pretty hard bounce. Oh, and that was a little too much extra. Thought we were going to get a better bounce than that. I guess the elevation change counted for more than the wind did there. So that's an oopsie on my part. But still, I'd much rather be in the rougher bunker short of the green than coming back from the backside of this green. The wind scared us off of the right shot a little too much there. But it happens. Definitely not the kind of mistake you want to make in a tournament, though. I mean, even if you're really good at chipping from the rough, you don't want to spend all the tournament chipping from the rough. Let's see. This may work out for him if he hits it really well, but this is something, I mean, he was all over the place with that, so who knows. But this is one of the things where he started his adjustment to land super close to the rough, whereas I tried to make my adjustment to where I was in the middle of that fairway, so even if I was off by a little bit, it was still okay. This is what I was... Anyway, let me just try to bounce it right here.
Great shot! Nice on!
What are you doing? Sorry, my dogs are running amok in here for some reason. And apparently that's not going to stop anytime soon. Well, let's see if our opponent can make the chip. Put us out of our misery when we were playing this hole. I don't know what I was talking about.
Perfect shot. Nice on.
Well, then we're going to another shootout. Maybe we'll get a shootout that's in the tournament.
Oh.
29 doesn't want to be friendly the way we're moving the 410. I swear that they have some kind of algorithm that anytime there's a tournament in a tour, they purposely make it to where there's less of the tournament holes and more of the other holes. So the people playing to the hopes that they finally get that 1 out of 10. Could just be coincidence, but it seems like every tournament you never see the tournament holes as much as you do every other hole on that tour. Probably no coincidence there. Yeah, that's a shootout from last tournament. See what DVD has to do. Oh, 1. That's another great stream if you guys want to check out. He does Rookie Pro Expert, putting out lots of great content.
Nice on.
No, I still peek in on Graham and Spencer and Juan's streams and Masters, see what they're doing. Yeah, not to say that I always necessarily use their shots. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It all depends on how comfortable I am with that particular shot setup, whatever. But I like to see what they're doing. Even if I don't end up using the shot, I always end up typically getting an idea of how I want to play something.
Perfect shot.
Check up. Check up.
Nice on.
Sit ball. You've always got to kind of balance that shootout with. Oh, a better shot. Good game, buddy. Yeah, with going too far versus catching that rough. All right, Tor 9, come on now. Help us out here. Hello, Nixie. Would you like to be on the stream? This is my Catahoula Nix. She apparently wants to be on the stream. Hello, baby. The music's still too loud. Maybe it's just me. It's not a bad Nirvana shot from over there. Alright, I see we did not use the take shot button, we just kind of eyeballed it.
Perfect shot.
Probably a little more rough than we wanted to, but we left it in a good spot. Even if you don't catch the rough with only a Thor 4 and a little bit of headwind, you can't get all the way to the end of the fairway. And he seems like he's just eyeballing it, which is probably good. I don't know about eyeballing from that angle. When I'm playing
Great
a shot where
shot.
I'm just eyeballing it, I like to have more of a full screen view. I mean, his distance
Nice
is fine,
on.
but
Perfect shot.
uh-oh. I think that's too far right. It was too far right.
Nice on.
I had a lot of hole-in-ones in that last tournament. Unfortunately, a lot of them were in shootouts and not in the tournament. I mean, a couple of them were, but most of them were in
Birdie.
shootouts. Which is the way it normally goes. You spend all week getting the adjustment down well, and then you get a similar win in a shootout, then you get to the tournament, and then that's the one that drops, and you only make birdie during the actual tournament. This one again. Yeah, let's try the bump.
Perfect shot. Nice on.
Well, he didn't go in, but our opponent's got his work cut out for him. like I said, you know, in a headwind, playing from the left like we did, I think your chances of getting a hole-in-one are pretty much just as good. The headwind really helps the ball check up on the sniper. You know, if you play it right, it will take a kick right towards the hole, but in a wind that's not too crazy, that little bump,
Perfect
if you can
shot.
play it right, always seems to... One person watching, do you have any questions? Anything? That's okay. The other guys might be busy. I didn't give them a lot of notice for the stream, and it's really just for something for you guys to watch at your leisure, if you like watching it at all. I mean, the one I do on Monday, I'll stream my qualifying round on Monday, and that way you get to see the actual tournament, the actual holes in order with the actual wins, how I'm playing them with balls, what shots. Yeah, that's where the work really comes in. I like to get the group set up though, like, you know, the weekend right before tournament instead of just setting it up on like Monday, because sometimes people have more questions, stuff. Maybe they need help with something. Oh, still not enough. The Thor 4 is very limited curl. Was not enough. I should have tried that another way. The extra mile should have a little more curl than the Thor 4, so he should be able to. I don't know about that much overpower there, bud.
Perfect shot.
You're hitting perfect. Ho ho! Yeah, too much overpower. He put it right on the end of the fairway, too. He had no fairway left. Oh. Lucky break. Yeah. Oh well. Our opponent wasn't in the fairway, so we cut it a little closer than we needed to right there. Honestly, with that wind angle, if we'd have hit the fairway without a little extra curl from missing, and it would have just probably bounced over the second fairway and ended up in the rough and bunker over there. Definitely don't want to do that. Well, we don't have to play this super dangerous now.
Perfect shot. Nice on.
Oh, thank you, Andy. More expert tournaments before I started getting gold there, you know, being out clubbed, and yeah, at times really out large groups like elite with lots of people helping and coaching, and it's a great thing. And I mean, I love, like I said, a year ago you may have had like, you know, I don't know, like 4 or 5 people at the tournament that were really tough. Brian doesn't like to play in tournaments. Brian, I gotta tell you, you're gonna get way more of placing well in a tournament than you will in winning a million chests in tour play. So you might want to think about starting playing you a couple tournaments, everybody. I think that win should be enough to check it up. It wasn't an adjustment made by counting rings or anything else. That's just, the more you play, the more experience you gain, and you just kind of memorize certain winds will stop the ball in certain situations. Although it's been quite a long time since I played with a Thor 4. You know, if the Thor 6 ball got over that close to the edge, I would have thought maybe it was a little too close. Sliding the rings down the hill. Anytime you start sliding into a bunker or down a hill, the elevation change, I don't know if I'm saying add or take away, but it makes the rings really. Hold on. Give me that. Are you kidding me? No one's watching you. No one's adulting you. Honestly.
Perfect shot.
But anyway, sorry, I completely forgot my train of thought because my heckling dog decided to come in here and squeak a toy a million times to demand attention. Brett, what's up? Viciously saying pantsless wonder himself. Who is also
birdie.
If I'm not mistaken, you chimed in ticket one time that they actually create a beginner's tournament below rookie because there's so many. I don't want to use the term. Everyone gets to play in whatever tournament they want. I know your weekly banner just. That's not over, bud. Shorted it. 7 and 1.5 less top spin or back spin. Well, if we'd have hit it perfect, maybe it wouldn't have been as bad. Stream lag is really bad. I feel like you didn't because I feel like you would have led with that had you won. Ugh. Well, this is going to be an extremely difficult win. Let's see. I took everything we had. Put our poor little Thor 4, but we made it. As you can see, I mean, I haven't been using the take shot button, even though that was a more difficult shot. But it's really one of those things with the driver. As long as you know what your outside ring is, like I know it's 8.5 to the outside ring.
Perfect shot.
You can just kind of, look at it and imagine. Okay, that's 8.5, so 11 should be about. Damn.
Great shot.
Glitchy fuck.
It's on.
But it goes to show the adjustment wasn't lined up for it to go in anyway. We missed on the right side and it was still too far left. Is that you, Brett? Are you back? Did you beat Graham?
Perfect shot.
If your opponent hits the fairway. Sure, shooter. We'll play again, buddy. Okay, I think we've played, what, 10, 12 rounds? I think we've gotten one hole from the tournament, maybe? If that. I felt like there was one. And this isn't it. Alright, good safe spot. You guys haven't played this hole very often. Yeah, I think it's tour 5, and in this tour, hit it safely into the fairway, anywhere down there where I'm at, and then the rough bump. If you got the Saturn and you've got it upgraded, you get a lot of. So it's not a terrible idea to start practicing this shot now. You know, if you don't.
Nice on.
I'm not really sure why that ball kicked so far to the left. I mean, we were lining up just the side of the hole. Right? Sometimes, you know, you got an adjustment you got down really good and everything's good to go, especially in a tournament. You've made this adjustment on qualifying. Alright, now here's a shootout. If you guys haven't seen this one before, you can play it two ways. You can play the rough bump, which is what it looks like our opponent's going with, off the side hill. So you can play just in front of that bunker and try to roll it up the hill.
Nice.
Seems like you never get tournament holes the week of a tournament if you're on that tour. But that's okay. Tommy or Juan or one of those guys will have a setup when they show the actual tournament. I know Tommy does the tournament holes. He goes back to old footage of his and puts together the holes in the order they come in the tournament, so that you can see the tournament holes being played. I like it. The accidental bunker bump.
Great shot.
In this particular case, though, he may have been better off. No top spin and rough bump into that.
Great
lane.
shot. Nice on.
Not enough to the side there, but still safe shot. We're not getting that many extras to drop tonight, but you know, if you just keep hitting the right shots, safe shots, leave yourself space in your adjustment. The more you minimize it, the easier it'll be to climb up the ranks. Especially when you start getting into tours like 9 and 10 and eventually 11, where the competition is very, very strong. Everyone's, you know, especially when you're trying to close out 9 or 10, I've noticed for a lot of people, they're like, man, it's really hard to close out. Well, that's because all the people at the top of those tours are having that same problem. Everybody's bogged down and becomes a traffic jam because you got all these good players who've been on the same tour and who have the shootouts really dialed in. They've been there so long that you know, everyone's winning half the time or less because everyone's just beating the crap out of each other. So, you know, it's getting tough to close out those tours, and you're seeing more. I dropped the trophies on 11 on purpose so I could go to 10 and actually play 10 honestly again, and not just play replays. And I mean, the level of clubs that people have on Tour 10 now is crazy compared to the last time I went through it. And I think a big part of that is the whole. I thought that might be a little under adjusted. Screen lag's getting so bad that it's hard to look at it without getting a freaking headache. But we can go over kind of the whole layouts in the chat and talk about each hole and what we think, kind of shots we'll want to play. Maybe start, pre-gaming a little bit when it comes to that stuff. I know hole 1 is a drivable par 4 depending on the wind, but it's a risky. You got to go to that little island fairway to the left in the midst of all those cliffs. So if you're not careful, you go left or right and you fall off the cliff, go in the water. You go too long or too pro. So with the Thor 4's limited curl, I knew there was no chance of getting on the green, but chip from a green side bunker is more makeable than a long, far up shot. Green side, rough and bunker chips, it's really just whether or not you hit perfect. If you hit perfect, you can get it to drop. If you don't, it won't. But, the further away you are, there's no guarantee you get that to drop either. I definitely encourage you to play friendlies, or even maybe a couple matches on a tour, whatever out, and, take time to practice hitting perfect in the rough and bunker, because later on it's really going to be important. Making shots from the rough around the green with your Nirvana, or even getting
Perfect shot.
bunker shots to drop is going to make all the difference. Tournament, I can't tell you.
Great shot.
We're a little late tonight. I don't know if it's a lag or just late.
Nice on.
Because I know that they have some of the same stream lag problems. I've talked to Spencer, and it happens to him sometimes. They still hit perfect. They still win tournaments while streaming. I'll only stream through qualifying. I mean, maybe
Birdie.
If you guys, if you guys needed to see some more, we could do some opening. But I never stream weekend rounds for the very purpose that, one, while you're trying to talk and teach, if it's possible to concentrate fully. Two, stream.
Perfect shot.
Honestly, I thought the 10.5 mile per hour wind would get that ball to stop. And we only ended up about a half yard closer than not even a half yard closer than we did last time. It's side wind. But anything behind the hole beats coming up short. Which I don't think our opponent's coming up short. If anything, he might be even longer than us.
Perfect shot.
We'll find out. Yeah, he's long. The stream will be up. You guys have any questions? Me or Steve will be happy to help you answer. If you don't have any questions tonight or tomorrow, then we'll start putting in the work on Monday with the qualifying round. I don't get off of you or your opponent putt, forfeit the match. Probably at least like 4 or 5 holes. Make sure you shoot around even par, just in case something crazy happens.